Here is everything I want to be added in the inevitable Mario Kart World DLC. I'll be covering new characters I want to see, costumes, tracks, and just other random additions. There's some smaller stuff I'll go over that I hope to see in free updates as well. Subscribe for more Nintendo content, and let's start off with the characters. Mario Kart World has an incredible roster. I even gave it an A tier in my Mario Kart ranking video, but I said in order for it to be an S tier for me, it needs just a little bit more. There are quite a few important characters missing in my eyes that we've seen in past games, and there are some new additions I would love to see as well. I was thinking of how many characters they could actually add, and with the Booster Course Pass adding 8 characters, I would like to see 12 new additions to the roster. An absolute minimum would be 10. But it's my wish list, and I don't think it's too unreasonable to ask for 12 characters, and there's so many characters I want to see. I could do 20, alright, but I'm trying to keep this somewhat realistic. The characters I would love to see added to the game are Pink Gold Peach, Silver Peach, Platinum Peach, Bold Peach. I'm just messing, seriously. If they start bringing these damn gold and metal characters back for anything more than a costume, we're going to be having serious words, Nintendo. The actual first new addition I would love to see is Talking Flower as an NPC character. I absolutely adore Talking Flower. I know some people find him irritating, but that's exactly why I want him here.
Get close and...
Hello, Marge Simpson from The Simpsons.
Can you just imagine everyone getting turned to a talking flower during a race and they're all just yapping away? This could be really fun, and it seems like they are sticking around. They obviously debuted in Wonder, they made it as a spirit in Smash Bros, they're in the Jamboree Switch 2 edition, they're going to be in Mario Tennis Fever, and they're even getting a talking toy in real life. So why not add them to Mario Kart as well? For some of the main characters now, I would like to see Professor Egad make his Mario Kart debut. I'm kind of surprised this hasn't happened yet, especially in Tour, because that game was getting absolutely every character imaginable. Luigi's Mansion is a huge series now. The third game sold over 14 million copies, and a fourth game is likely on the way soon. So it would be awesome to have Egad racing alongside Luigi and King Boo. Poochie would be sick as well. I would love to see him come back from Tour. This is one of my favorite characters from that game easily. A Toasterinen as an NPC racer would also be really neat. They're going to be in the upcoming Mario Galaxy movie, and I've always liked these guys. Another random NPC racer to add, which would look really cool driving a kart, Bruiser. He's not as popular nowadays and pretty random, but not as random as Snowman though, let's be real. Now for the inevitable Donkey Kong Focus update we are all expecting. Diddy Kong absolutely has to be there. Dixie Kong, King K. Rool, and Void Kong would all be cool as well. Diddy Kong really should have been in it from the start. Dixie Kong deserves to make it into a home console Mario Kart game and not just be trapped in Tour. King K. Rool definitely deserves to be in a Mario Kart game, and Void Kong, the big new villain for that game, would be neat as well. Plus, I always hear about that whole thing of the voice actors being in the credits, so maybe it will happen. King Bobomb, another Tour character I think would be amazing in this game, and for one last NPC, I think Thwomp would be really funny. He's pretty iconic and is one of the more recognizable enemies missing from the roster if we don't include the characters that are reserved for items. For the final main character, P.T. Piranha has to come back. He's a legend. He deserves to return again and be with his partner King Boo. Now, I know I said 12 characters, but I'm throwing this in there anyway because this really should have been an option from the start. The Miis. Why on earth are these guys missing? Being able to race as yourself is always fun. I don't think this should be paid DLC. I think that the Miis should be available in a free update for everyone. They were in Wii, 7, 8, 8 Deluxe, Tour. Why not here? Okay. I'm not gonna lie, narrowing down the new additions I want to 12 was actually really hard. I originally did 10, then added 2 more and thought maybe that's asking a bit much, but I'm gonna throw some honorable mentions in there because I think there is so much potential. I genuinely wouldn't mind if you switched out some of my picks for these. I'm gonna say Toadsworth as an honorable mention, Pom Pom, Boom Boom, Waddle Wing, Plessy, Poplin, the Koopalings. Now, if they were going to do this, I wouldn't really be too happy if they all took up slots in DLC separately, especially if it's limited. But I'll be honest, I do really miss the Koopalings, and if they are adding like 30 characters or something ridiculous like that, sure, they can bring them back. Some final honorable mentions: Cranky Kong, Funky Kong. If you wanted to switch him in for Dixie in my main picks, I wouldn't mind. And finally, Honey Queen, Luma, Fuzzy, Ninja. I'm going to stop with the honorable mentions now because I could honestly go on all day. You see, when they introduce all of these random NPC races, the possibilities are endless, and that is why I love this game. There are many characters I have missed, but I tried to keep it somewhat realistic, limiting it to just 12 plus the Miis, and I wanted to show some love to others in the honorable mentions, but let me know in the comments some characters you would like to see. Now for costumes. I will cover some I think would be nice, but again, the possibilities are really endless here, so I won't go over every single character, but let me know which ones you would like to specifically see in the comments. Builder Mario, Luigi, Toad and Toadette, the King Boo skin from Luigi's Mansion 3, Dr. Mario, Luigi and a few other Doctor characters, Reindeer Yoshi, the many outfits from Princess Peach Showtime, 16-bit Mario from the original Mario Kart, the large variety of outfits for DK and Pauline from Bonanza, Chef Shy Guy and Ninja Shy Guy, and just all of the various Shy Guy colors, the same with Yoshi and Birdo without needing to change costumes, Pirate Bowser Jr. The list goes on. If they ever allow NPC races to have costumes as well, some cool ideas could be Fire Piranha Plant, Spiky Piranha Plant. You could have Hammer Bro be Boomerang Bro, Fire Bro, Ice Bro, Dr. Dolphin, Snow Pokey. You get the point. This would be a way of having more enemy variants be available, but I really don't see them allowing the NPC races to have costumes, and they'll likely just save that for the main roster. At the very least, it would be nice to have the Piantas, Biddy Buds, Cheep Cheeps, and all those enemies that have multiple colors to have the option to change it. As we mentioned before, the same applies for Shy Guy, Yoshi, and Birdo. Just don't make every single color and costume take up a slot on the character select screen, please. I've said it a million times before, but they really need to change that. It makes things so cluttered. Let's talk about some tracks now. For World, it is interesting when talking about new tracks because of how the game is designed. With it being one big open world, it's not as easy as past games where they can throw in any track they want. Although they have made some changes to intermission courses already, I doubt they'll want to switch things up too much by just slapping in random courses in between already existing ones. This would entirely mess up the existing Grand Prix and Knockout Tour Cups too, so yeah, I don't see that happening. But there are a few ways they could go about this. The best and most likely scenario is adding a bunch of extra islands around the existing map. This could be a bunch of smaller islands or just a few larger ones. The intermissions for these wouldn't always necessarily have to be just riding through the ocean too. They could add some bridges, gliding sections, vines, or even get creative and have them connect underground through like a large pipe or something. They could even have tracks like Super Bell Subway, for example, leading you to a new island, kind of like the Euro tunnel in real life. I don't know. There is just the option of extending the existing map, but a lot of the outer sections are of course beaches, so this would be quite limiting, although I'm sure they could manage to extend some areas if they really wanted to. But either way, I didn't really want to go too in depth with this in terms of how they're going to make it all connect and everything, because I am sure they already thought of this when designing the map in the first place, and they can make it work. But I personally like the island idea the best, and for some islands I would like to see, an easy one is Isle Delfino, with Delfino Square making a return. We haven't seen this since Mario Kart Wii, and being able to explore it in the open world would be a delight. Piantas and Cataquacs are playable in the game too, so it just feels right. It would also be the perfect opportunity to have Coconut Mall next to this as well. Exploring that in free roam again would be amazing, and they can also throw Sunshine Airport in at the end because I just love that track, and they all just seem to fit perfectly together. flavor. Another island that would be really cool to see here would be a Donkey Kong themed island. Obviously, this would be an all new track with elements from Bonanza, and they could maybe throw in DK Jungle as well. I think another new Donkey Kong themed track makes sense. Toad Harbor feels like another perfect track for World. This would have been great on the existing map, to be honest. Daisy Cruiser is another one I'm kind of surprised isn't already here. They really could have just thrown this in anywhere they want, pretty much in the ocean. The ocean area is pretty bland as is, so adding in Daisy Cruiser anywhere really could have been fun. Another easy track to slap in the existing map if they wanted is Cloud Top Cruise. This could pretty much again go anywhere with it being a sky map, but it probably makes the most sense to be near Airship Fortress with all of the ships and everything. Either that or Sky Garden could return. I don't really mind which, to be honest. Luigi's Mansion DS would be another fantastic return. I would love for them to expand on this, making you race through the mansion a bit more. This is one of my favorites from Mario Kart DS, so I would love to see a new take on it. Daisy Hills is a beautiful track from Mario Kart 7. I've always had a soft spot for this one, so I would love to see it return. Royal Raceway would also be a cool return, especially being able to explore Peach's Castle from Mario 64. They are most likely going to put another Rainbow Road in, and one that hasn't returned yet is Super Circus Rainbow Road. This is one of my favorite Rainbow Roads, and seeing a remake of this with a modern twist would be interesting. Speaking of Super Circuit, Mario Kart World doesn't actually have any tracks from Super Circuit at all, which is kind of crazy. So not only should Rainbow Road from this return, let's get the other track from this game that hasn't returned yet, Broken Pier, and give it a nice remake. I wouldn't really mind too much if any of the other tracks from Super Circuit were brought back instead, even the ones that have recently been remade. I just want Super Circuit to be represented a bit more in this game. Now for the final track on my list. I know it is super unrealistic, but I'm throwing it in here because, well, it's my wish list and it would be amazing to see this come back. Woohoo Island being added to the game, and Woohoo Loop and Maka-Woohoo making a return, or just merging the two, I don't care, but having this here would be fantastic. I adore this island so much, and I love Mario Kart 7 for bringing this in as a track, and can you imagine being able to explore this in free roam mode? It would be incredible. Now for some other random changes slash additions I want. Improving battle mode is a big one for me because they really messed this one up in World. It is so boring. They used to put a lot of effort into this mode, but it seems like recently in the modern games it's kind of just taken a back seat a little bit. Introducing a bunch of new tracks gives them the opportunity to bring in some more battle courses too, like Delfino Pier or Woohoo Town. It also needs some more modes, like Renegade Roundup could come back. I know this one wasn't as universally loved as some other modes, but I really enjoyed this in 8 Deluxe, and I would love to see it return. Or a hide and seek mode in the open world. Maybe not the whole map because that will take all day, but this could be a really neat idea. Or even just bringing back Shine Thief. With the open world, or even just bringing back old modes from past battle modes, the potential is there. They just couldn't be bothered, so hopefully this can be improved and is included in a free update so everyone can enjoy. 200cc should definitely return and really could have been in the base game. A lot of the tracks are perfect for 200cc as well, with them naturally being bigger due to the 24 player races. I know it isn't as simple as just cranking up the speed. They discussed how it was quite difficult to implement with 8, with them needing to change the gravity on all of the ramps or whatever it was, but still, it was in the last game. It should be here too. A music player is another thing I would love to see. The soundtrack for this game is one of the best I have ever seen. I really appreciate them now showing which music track is playing on the pause menu. Why not take it a step further and allow us to select what we can listen to when exploring in free roam? We've had some intermissions change in a recent update. This shows they are listening, so I hope they improve on a lot more of them and reduce the overall time spent in them, so we can spend some more time on the actual tracks themselves, even if it just means speeding up a few sections. I'm confident they will continue to make tweaks like this as time goes on. They've already added custom items, made it easier to track collectibles on the map, made it much easier to unlock NPC races now, so let's hope these small free updates continue. few, and they can throw some bigger ones in there like an improved battle mode and 200cc. So far, I have absolutely enjoyed my time with Mario Kart World. I do think some of the hate for it online is definitely overblown. Of course, they could absolutely improve on the game in many ways, and they already have added some pretty decent quality of life changes. I'm sure this game will continue to get even better, and when they inevitably start adding the DLC, I can't wait to see what more content we get in this game. Make sure to subscribe for more Nintendo content and let me know in the comments below what things you hope are added to Mario Kart World.
Sunrise.